Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old as gold, but these Jefferson nickel 5-cent coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Coin number 1. Today I have something very special for you, and you really don't want to miss a single word of this video because we are talking about a coin that hides more history and rarity than most collectors even realize. This is the United States of America Jefferson nickel from the year 1973, and believe me, this little 5-cent coin can surprise you with its uniqueness and value. The Jefferson nickel has always been a favorite among collectors because of its long-running design and deep American history. The year 1973 might sound like a common modern date, but once you take a closer look you realize this is no ordinary nickel. Some examples from this year were struck with minting errors, and those mistakes instantly turned these small coins into treasures that collectors all around the country are searching for with passion. On the front side you see the classic portrait of Thomas Jefferson, and on the reverse side the beautiful Monticello building, which is Jefferson's famous home. But here's where things get exciting. In 1973 a number of nickels came out with striking problems like doubling on the letters, off-center strikes, and even weak strikes where the details of Monticello appear faded. Each of these errors tells its own story from the minting floor and makes the coin far more valuable than a regular strike. Now here is something for all the collectors watching. If you want to identify a rare 1973 Jefferson nickel in your collection, pay attention to the sharpness of the design and look carefully at the lettering around the edges and the steps on Monticello. A perfectly sharp strike showing full steps can raise the value dramatically, while an error like doubling on the word Monticello or the motto can make the coin extremely desirable. Always use a magnifier and proper lighting because sometimes the smallest details make the biggest difference in value. Collectors love the thrill of finding a hidden rarity in their pocket change or in an old coin jar at home. Imagine holding a coin that millions of people overlooked for decades but turns out to be a rare error worth real money. That is why this Jefferson nickel from 1973 excites so many hobbyists today. Some have even been discovered at small coin shows or estate sales where sellers didn't realize what they had. Let me share a little tip with you if you are hunting for these coins. Never pass up a chance to check bulk nickel rolls from banks or flea markets. Many times collectors have reported finding these rare 1973 nickels in such rolls for only face value and later selling them in auctions for hundreds or even thousands. Always be patient because coin collecting is about the hunt as much as it is about the reward. So what is the true value of this rare Jefferson nickel from 1973? Well, here is the thrilling part. A coin in average condition will still carry collector interest, but if you have one in uncirculated mint state with sharp details or a rare minting error, its value can soar. At coin shows in New York and even online auctions in California, these nickels have sold for as high as $10,000 in original market value. Yes, you heard me right, $10,000 for a single 5-cent coin that most people would have spent at a store without a second thought. And that brings us to the conclusion, my friends. The 1973 Jefferson nickel is more than just another small coin. It is a piece of American history with hidden gems of rarity waiting to be discovered. If you are a collector searching for your next treasure, keep your eyes open for those sharp steps on Monticello and those exciting error strikes. Who knows, maybe in your very own collection there lies a nickel worth thousands. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the world of rare Jefferson nickels. If you enjoyed learning about this coin, make sure to subscribe for more amazing stories and values from coins around the world. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and never underestimate the power of a small coin to change your day forever. Coin number 2. I have something truly special for you, a coin that many people have seen but only a few truly understand its hidden power and value. We are talking about the United States of America Jefferson nickel from the year 1964, a 5-cent coin that carries not just history but also uniqueness and rarity that could make it worth far more than its face value. So stay with me until the very end because I will reveal how much this coin can actually be worth in today's market, and I promise you will not want to miss this. The year 1964 was a big turning point in American coinage history. This was the last year when silver was used in U.S. circulating coins like dimes, quarters, and half dollars. While the nickel itself was not made of silver, the 1964 Jefferson nickel was struck in such massive numbers that it became one of the most common dates. Yet among those millions there are rare variations, minting errors, and pristine conditions that make some of these nickels highly valuable for collectors. And that is exactly where the thrill begins for coin hunters like us. Now let's talk about the design that makes this nickel so recognizable. On the obverse side, you'll see the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson, America's third president, designed by Felix Schlag. The reverse side shows Jefferson's famous home, Monticello, a design that stayed on the nickel for decades. At first glance, it may look ordinary, but trust me, the details in the strike, the mint marks, and the overall condition of the coin can change everything when it comes to collector value. What really makes the 1964 Jefferson nickel rare and exciting are the errors and varieties that came out that year. For example, you have the full steps variety on the Monticello building, where the steps are completely visible and sharply struck. These are very hard to find because most nickels from this year were weakly struck. If you find a 1964 nickel with full steps in beautiful uncirculated condition, you are looking at a treasure that collectors are fighting to get their hands on. There are also double die errors where letters or numbers appear doubled, and even off-center strikes where part of the design is misplaced. These mistakes may sound small, but for a collector they are like golden tickets because each error coin is unique and tells its own story of how it slipped through the mint unnoticed. Imagine holding one of those rare pieces, knowing you are one of the very few in the world who has it. That is the thrill of coin collecting. Now here's an important tip for collectors. Always pay attention to the condition of the coin. A circulated coin that has scratches, wear, and dullness will be worth less, but if you can find a coin in mint state condition, shiny, sharp, and without wear, then the price can skyrocket. Keep your coins in protective holders, avoid touching them with bare fingers, and if possible, have them graded by a professional grading service because a certified grade can give you the best return if you decide to sell. Another tip is to always keep an eye on auctions and coin shows in different cities. Many rare 1964 Jefferson nickels have been sold at auctions in places like New York, Chicago, and even online platforms where collectors bid fiercely to own one. This is where you see the real demand, because when two collectors want the same coin, the price often climbs higher than anyone expected. So what is the real value of this coin today? Here's the exciting part. A regular circulated 1964 Jefferson nickel might only be worth its face value, but in mint state with full steps or with a rare error, the price can jump into thousands. In fact, some pristine 1964 Jefferson nickels have sold for as much as $15,000 in major auctions across the United States. Imagine turning a small 5-cent coin into $15,000. That is the magic of coin collecting. Collectors love this coin not only because of its value but also because it represents a piece of American history during a time of big change in coinage. It is one of those coins that teaches us to look deeper, to pay attention to details, and to never underestimate what looks ordinary at first glance. So my friends, always check your old jars, coin boxes, or even the change you get from a store, because you never know when a rare 1964 Jefferson nickel might fall into your hands. Treat every coin as a potential hidden treasure, because the thrill of finding that one rare piece is what keeps this hobby so exciting and alive. And that brings us to the end of today's journey into the world of the 1964 Jefferson nickel. If you enjoyed learning about this rare and fascinating coin, make sure you subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share this video with other coin lovers. Who knows, maybe the next lucky collector to find one of these nickels worth $15,000 could be you. Until next time, happy collecting, and may your next coin hunt bring you closer to a treasure. Coin number 3. Where we uncover the hidden treasures of American coins. Today I have something truly thrilling for you, a coin that may look ordinary at first glance but hides a world of mystery, rarity, and collector excitement. We are talking about the United States of America Jefferson nickel from 1986 with the Philadelphia Mint Mark P. Now don't rush away thinking it's just another 5-cent coin, because I will show you why this particular nickel can be so special and how certain versions of it have become highly sought after in the world of coin collecting. The year 1986 was an interesting chapter in U.S. coinage. The Jefferson nickel had already been a staple in circulation for nearly half a century. Millions of these coins were struck, but among those millions, there are rare gems that stand apart. That is the magic of coin collecting, the idea that one coin in your pocket change could be the rare piece that collectors are chasing across the country. On the obverse you will find the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, designed by Felix Schlag, as always standing proudly. On the reverse you will see Monticello, Jefferson's famous home, with those steps leading up that every collector looks at so carefully. Why the steps? Because this is where one of the most famous varieties comes into play, the full steps nickel. A 1986 P. Jefferson nickel with clear, complete steps on Monticello is very hard to find, and when found in pristine condition, it can command huge prices. Now let's talk about the rare errors that make the 1986 P nickel even more exciting. There are examples with doubling on the lettering, or words like Liberty or Monticello show that ghost-like second strike. There are off-center strikes where the design is misaligned, and even die cracks that give a unique raised line across the coin. These error nickels are loved by collectors because they are one of a kind. No two error coins are exactly the same, and that uniqueness adds to their desirability and their value. The thrill of this coin lies in the fact that while it was widely circulated, finding a mint state version, especially one with full steps, is like striking gold. Collectors know how tough it is to get a sharp strike from this period, and that scarcity creates demand. A simple nickel that someone once used for candy or coffee can today be worth hundreds or even thousands if it shows those special qualities. That's why collectors all over the country, from New York to Los Angeles, keep an eye out for the state and mint mark. Now let me give you some important tips for collectors who may be lucky enough to find one of these nickels. Always handle your coins with care, avoid touching them directly with your fingers, and store them in protective holders. If you believe you have a rare error or a coin in top condition, consider having it graded by a trusted grading company. A graded coin not only gets the recognition of its true condition but also sells faster and at higher prices when taken to market or auction. Another tip is to never underestimate the value of coin shows and estate sales. Many collectors have discovered hidden treasures in boxes of coins being sold by families who don't even realize what they have. Imagine picking up a lot of old nickels for a few dollars and discovering a 1986 Jefferson nickel with full steps that could sell for a fortune in today's market. That's the true thrill of this hobby and why collectors love the hunt so much. And now for the part you have been waiting for, the true value of this coin in the collector's market today. While a regular 1986 nickel in circulated condition may only be worth its face value, when you find one in mint state condition with full steps or a unique mint error, the price can soar. In fact, some examples of the 1986 Jefferson nickel have sold in auctions for as much as $4,000. Yes, a simple 5-cent coin turning into $4,000, that is the hidden treasure waiting in this nickel. Collectors love this coin because it is living proof that even modern nickels can hold great surprises. It teaches us to pay attention to the smallest details, to check every coin carefully, and to never assume something is ordinary just because it looks common. Every coin has a story, and sometimes that story ends in an auction house where bids climb higher and higher for the one coin that stands above the rest. So my friends, if you have jars of old change, boxes tucked away, or coins passed down through your family, take a good look at your nickels from 1986. Who knows, maybe you are holding a coin that could change your collecting journey forever. The thrill is real, the demand is high, and the possibility is waiting in your very hands. Thank you for staying with me on this journey into the 1986 Jefferson nickel from Philadelphia. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of America's fascinating coins, make sure you subscribe to the channel, tap the like button, and share this with other coin lovers. Stay curious, keep searching, and may your next coin find be the treasure you've been waiting for. Coin number 4. Where every coin has a story and every story can hold a treasure. Today I want you to listen very carefully because the coin we are about to explore may look simple at first, but inside its metal lies rarity, history, and potential fortune. We are talking about the United States Jefferson nickel from 1987 with the Denver Mint Mark D. This is not just a 5-cent coin you pass in your change, this is a coin that collectors are hunting and one that could surprise you with its true worth. The year 1987 came at a time when America was pushing out billions of coins, and the Jefferson nickel was in full swing of circulation. At the Denver Mint, millions rolled off the presses, but as every coin collector knows, not every coin is equal. Out of those millions, only a few carry the sharp strikes, the clean surfaces, or the unique minting errors that make them stand out. And it is in those rare survivors that the value climbs higher than anyone expects. On the front of the coin we have Thomas Jefferson, standing proud as one of the most recognizable designs in U.S. coinage. On the reverse you will see Monticello, his iconic home. But what matters most to collectors is the detail, the lines on Monticello, especially the steps. When those steps are struck fully and cleanly, you have what is called a full steps nickel. And let me tell you, finding a 1987 D with full steps in mint condition is no easy task. That is what makes it so special when one does appear in the market, but condition is not the only story here. Some 1987 D nickels are known with fascinating mint errors. There are double die varieties where the lettering or numbers look doubled under magnification. There are off-center strikes where part of the design is misplaced, giving the coin a unique look. Some even have die cracks that leave raised lines across the surface like scars of the minting process. These are not flaws for collectors, they are treasures because every error coin is one of a kind. Think about it for a moment. Out of millions produced, only a handful may carry these features. That is the excitement of coin collecting. It's like a treasure hunt where you never know when the ordinary nickel in your hand might be the rare piece that collectors in Chicago, New York, or Los Angeles would bid fiercely for at an auction. This thrill keeps coin lovers searching through rolls, jars, and old collections day after day. Now let me give you some tips if you were lucky enough to have a 1987 Jefferson nickel. First, always check the condition. A coin that has been heavily used will not carry the same demand as one that looks crisp and untouched. If you believe you have a sharp strike or even full steps, place the coin in a protective holder right away to preserve its beauty. Second, always use good lighting and magnification to spot possible doubling or mint errors because those little details can mean a big difference in value. And finally, if you are sure you have a special piece, send it to a grading company. A coin that comes back with a certified mint state grade or a label confirming full steps will immediately gain more trust in the marketplace and higher prices when sold. Another tip is never underestimate coin shows, estate sales, or even coin rolls from the bank. Many collectors have pulled incredible finds from the most unexpected places. Just imagine buying a roll of nickels for face value and inside sits a brilliant 1987 D with full steps that could be worth a fortune. That is the magic that makes this hobby so thrilling, and now the moment you have been waiting for, the value reveal. While an ordinary circulated 1987 D nickel might only buy you what its face says, a pristine example with full steps or a unique error has sold in auctions for as much as $3,000. Yes, $3,000 for a 5-cent coin. This is not just a story, these sales have happened in major US auction houses where collectors compete to own the best of the best. So next time you see a 1987 D nickel, don't just toss it aside. Look closely, because you might be holding a treasure. It could be the nickel that turns a collector's dream into reality. The demand is real, the thrill is alive, and the chance is waiting in your very hands. Thank you so much for joining me on this exciting journey into the world of the 1987 D Jefferson nickel. If you enjoyed learning about this coin and its hidden secrets, don't forget to hit like, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and share this video with other collectors. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and may your next coin find be worth far more than you ever imagined. Coin number 5. I have something very exciting to share with you, a coin that is not only unique but also carries a story of history and rarity that you must hear about. We are talking about the Jefferson nickel from 2004 with the Denver Mint Mark D. So if you are a collector or a coin lover, listen carefully and don't miss any point because this coin has features that could turn an ordinary 5 cents into something truly valuable. The year 2004 was a very special one in the history of the Jefferson nickel. It was part of the Westward Journey series, celebrating the Great Lewis and Clark expedition. This was the first major change in the design of the Jefferson nickel in decades, which is why collectors place such high importance on it. The reverse of this coin features a beautiful image of the peace metal handshake, symbolizing friendship between Native Americans and the United States. This design alone makes the coin stand out from the standard Monticello reverse we usually see, but here is where things get interesting. At the Denver Mint, millions of these coins were struck, yet not all came out perfect. Some nickels show doubling on the design, where the letters or parts of the handshake appear doubled when you look closely. Others are struck slightly off-center, giving them a unique look. A few even carry die cracks or marks that occurred during minting, and these small errors make the coin rare and highly desirable. Collectors love these varieties because they know no two error coins are exactly the same. Another point that makes the 2004 D nickel important is its condition. Coins that circulated in everyday use often picked up scratches, marks, and wear. But those that survived in mint state condition, with clean surfaces and sharp detail, are the ones collectors truly chase. When you combine a beautiful strike with an error or variety, the value of this coin can skyrocket in the market. Now imagine this for a moment. You open a jar of old coins, or maybe you receive change at a store, and inside is a shining 2004 D nickel. At first it looks normal, but under the right light and magnification, you notice something unusual, doubling on the letters or a misstrike. That moment right there is what collectors dream of. It is like holding a hidden treasure in your palm without even expecting it. For coin hunters and collectors, here are some tips. Always keep your eyes open for sharp details, especially in the piece metal design. Look carefully at the clasped hands and the lettering around them. Small differences could mean big money. Store your finds in protective holders because condition matters more than anything. And if you believe you have something special, don't hesitate to send it for professional grading because once it is certified, its value becomes trusted and recognized everywhere, whether in local coin shops, auctions, or big online marketplaces. Collectors in different cities such as New York, Dallas, or Los Angeles have paid strong amounts for high-grade examples of the 2004 D nickel. At auctions, competition can drive the price up even higher because people know these coins are not easy to find in the best condition. The demand is strong and it only keeps increasing as more collectors enter the hobby searching for the famous westward journey designs, and now comes the most thrilling part, the value reveal. While a regular 2004 D nickel in circulation might not be worth more than face value, the rare versions with mint errors or those in pristine uncirculated condition have sold for as much as $1,500 in major auctions. Yes, a simple nickel that once bought a piece of candy has turned into a four-figure treasure in today's market. So my friends, next time you see a 2004 D Jefferson nickel, don't just pass it off as an ordinary 5-cent coin. Take your time, study it carefully, and you may be holding a piece of history and value right in your hand. This is the joy of coin collecting, turning the smallest finds into the greatest rewards. Thank you for joining me today on this exciting journey into the world of rare Jefferson nickels. If you enjoyed this story and want more hidden treasures revealed, make sure to subscribe and stay connected. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and may your next coin be the treasure you've been waiting for.